lot of people get into business, they build their life around the work, and that can really take them away from their long-term goals. And I did this myself and hope others do the same thing of, here's what I want my life to look like, and here's what I want it to involve, and here's why, because it keeps me healthy. And then now I need to find work that fits into that. So when I built a consultancy where I have this one-on-one and flexibility and travel time, it was, here's the lifestyle that's really important to me. Here's the community I want to be involved in. Here's the type of work that I want to do. And here are the benefits of living minimalistically and then going into nature and being able to be healthy in certain ways like that. So I really appreciated having that ability to build something around my life versus building my life around my work. As an entrepreneur or a small business owner, we all have a really competitive nature to move forward, grab more clients, improve our success. I fight that feeling a lot because I've heard over and over again that that's not the route to lifelong happiness. You don't hear about that on people's deathbeds, that they wish they'd worked more, that they wish they had climbed the ladder more. So some days that's tougher than others to fight that feeling inside of, I need to make this type of progress. But it's not about the higher salary, it's not about the status, it's about my long-term goals are a tiny home in the mountains where my job is to cut wood that day. And so I'm building my life around that, and I know that that type of stuff makes me happy in the long run. In my spare time, I work on a startup that provides mental health skills to young adults. And what a lot of these young adults are looking for is productivity tips. And that word is exciting to them because they believe that the more they can get done, the better and happier they will be. Sometimes they need a little bit of productivity, but what they really need is strategy, self-esteem, focus, the ability to trust themselves. And then out of that comes contentment and then moments of happiness. And when you're happy and content, you can be more productive. That doesn't mean now you're on Gmail and you can swipe to finish a sentence. That's not healthy productivity. Healthy productivity is, here are the 3 things that need to get done today that will move me forward. So there's a little bit of a difference between being happy and being fulfilled. And we can be happy and sad day to day, but our bigger life is either fulfilled or unfulfilled. So when you can fill your life with things that make you content and feel valuable, then you're going to be much more productive in the long run anyway, because you know what needs to be done and you're healthy enough to work on them. You can grind out on productive projects for quite a long time. You will burn out, and sometimes you need to do that. But once you work through those productive projects, you need to give yourself rest. There are ebbs and flows to our minds, ebbs and flows to our work, and we need to make sure that we follow those so we don't burn out permanently. My business philosophy is based on the simplistic idea of do good work for good people and good things will happen. So you certainly need to be strategic about, here's the industry I'm moving in and here's the client that I'm talking to. But in the meantime, just look for those people that are already doing good things for others and serve them. And if you just work on that intention, what happens is good things come back to you, either in the form of being paid, but more so the goodwill that you put into the community and your own goodwill that gets built up. So you can have these really complex strategic plans and trying to move through this, structure of business, but also day to day, if you can just put your head down and move the needle for a company, they're going to want to move yours back. So when I was just getting started out as a consultant in Lakeland, a big part of this place is community and networking and word of mouth. You really have to establish yourself as a trusted provider, and then the work will start to come to you. So in the beginning years, I would find the people that had the work and then ask them, how can I help you? What service can I provide for you, either pro bono or at a discounted rate, to prove that I'm the right service provider for you? So you have to balance that because eventually you have to move out of it, and you have to let the client know that, hey, I'm doing this for free to prove myself that you will pay me in the future. And there's a balance there versus this company's using a consultant for free to move on.
Yeah.
When I started to move from free work to paid work, I made a lot of mistakes. I remember that I drove a couple hours to give an email marketing program to a $50 million med tech company, and then drove home and I sent them an invoice for $25 because that's what I thought my hourly rate was worth at the time. And the business laughed at me and then paid my check. And I was able to realize, hey, I could probably bill more for that. There's gonna be some nerves when you move from free to paid. Doing enough free work that is good should build your confidence enough that you can go, okay, here's the value that you're getting from that. So there's kind of a jump off the cliff moment where it's like the next client that talks to me and needs something, I'm going to bill them. At some point you can go, okay, it's been a year, I'm going to bill the next one more because I realize I'm worth value. So when you're approaching a client for paid work, they're going to want to see results. So having this free work in your back end or any type of work where you can prove to them the actual metrics of your marketing success is really, really important. And that will grow over time. So I really try and build some trust by showing, hey, here are analytics in the past, and here's the expectations you can have working with me. I'm not going to oversell you on these things because, like I mentioned, I'm a one-on-one provider and I'm going to adjust based on what's working and what isn't. Marketing is both an art and a science, and sometimes a client will come to me and they want to be portrayed in a certain way that might not be close to the actual truth, or they might want to say something that might be more manipulative than helpful. And I always push back on that because, as we spoke about doing good work for good people, I'm not interested in that type of marketing. What I am interested is, here's something that is concretely true to your business, and every business has that. We just need to search for it. And here's how it can help you. So my marketing is not, here's how I will use these influence triggers to manipulate you into making a purchase. It's, here's how much I can prove that this is the value you need to get your problem solved. And that should drive your purchase. I've made the conscious decision not to hire for a couple of reasons. One of them is I really enjoy the one-on-one actual work with the client. And when you have a team, you do a lot of management. There's nothing wrong with management, but it is different from leadership. And so when it is currently me in my job working with the client, I still have a lot of high-level strategy to do, both with my own income goals in my business as well as theirs. So I get some leadership there, and I also get the concrete work to be done. I think there's something really special about hiring a large team and building an organization that runs efficiently and pays people so they can have a good lifestyle. I'm doing something similar through some volunteer work where I feel like I'm also giving back to the community, but in my work, I've decided to remain very fast and very flexible. A big part of my lifestyle is travel, but more so adventure and new experiences. So I am a huge believer in both community as well as stepping back and then having a place to come back to. So a lot of times I will leave Lakeland for quite some time and work on a maintenance level where I can keep my current clients happy. But growing a business means you need to come back to a place where you can communicate, where you can plant roots, which is such an important thing for people's health. So a lot of people believe that the constant travel is really the dream, but I think that you can burn out on that. So if you can return to a place, plan your next adventure, go out there and then come back and continue to be healthy in a single spot where your routine works, where you have friends as a support system, that's probably the right way to do it. I went to college in Lakeland and got plugged into the business community before I graduated. People that didn't left and went back to their hometowns or somewhere else, and now they're pretty jealous because of what Lakeland has turned into over these years. So Lakeland became my home through college and then afterwards, where I've bought property and I've started community clubs, and I've worked on business with the group of people that do good work around here. And so putting those roots down in Lakeland has been incredibly important for me as a person, as I develop myself and my own needs.